Hello. Hello, guys. Are you hearing me?
Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening, all of you. Okay. Next, 17th group elements. So 17th group elements having another name, halogens. This name is given because these elements are able to form salts. So salt forming elements calling halogens. Halogen elements are fluorine, chlorine,
Sir, no
bromine.
test, sir.
Hello.
Sir, no test.
Today, over now. Day before yesterday, you wrote no test.
Okay.
I gave 4 long answer questions. Don't worry. Okay. Just listen, guys. This chapter, this last chapter, no P block elements. I will complete in maximum 3 or maximum 4 classes. 18th, 17th, and 18th group. After that, every week you have to write 3 chapters test. For the test, I will share you what are the important questions in together, all together 3 chapters. Important questions only I will share you. And in regular classes, I will teach 11th standard syllabus. In 1 class or 2 classes, in 2 hours or 3 hours, I will complete 1 11th standard chapter. I mean, few concepts I will explain, important concepts. After that, some MCQ questions, past year CET questions, and JEE level questions I will explain in regular classes. So at home, you prepare 12th standard board level question and answers. And at weekend, you write test. Is it okay? Every week 3 chapters, or you need 4 chapters? I think 4th chapter means it will become heavy, you know. So write only weekly, write 3 chapters. So coming week syllabus I will post you means coming Saturday or Sunday, means not tomorrow, next coming Sunday. Write 3 chapters, first 3 chapters. Otherwise write this inorganic chemistry P block elements, D and A block elements.
Sir, these chapters will do late because now only we have done.
Now only?
Just now we finished, no, sir.
Yeah,
So we'll do this later.
later. I think I didn't conduct, I'm not conducting any one test also based on this chapter. That's what. D and F also just I gave only 4 questions last week, means day before yesterday. Of course, these 2 chapters, P and F block is a very big chapter. Sorry, P block element, not D and F. So right, coming Sunday, write these 2 chapters. Okay. Guys who are preparing for CET and JEE, regularly attend the classes from next week onwards. Inform to your friends also.
Sir, we have a pre-board, sir.
When?
December 2nd week.
December 2nd week.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is syllabus? Full syllabus, pre-board. Did they complete it in school? All chapter, all 13 chapters?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
D and F block, everything.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
In chemistry, it is left.
Chapters are left.
Sir is doing organic chemistry.
Okay, now doing organic chemistry. Which chapter?
Sir, he's an aldehyde, sir.
Okay,
started-
aldehydes. Okay, then amines, biomolecules, is it completed?
No, sir.
Hmm. Okay. Full inorganic completed?
Almost, sir. Only those 3 chapters are left.
Only the last 3 chapters are left. Okay. Mhm. Okay, in inorganic, we have only these 2 chapters, P block and D block, but weightage is more. P block is 8 marks, D and D block is 6 marks. So 14 marks you can gain in. So prepare these 2 chapters only for this week. And next week, I will conduct organic chemistry, any 3 chapters.
Okay, sir.
It is useful for your pre-board exams also. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and astatine, and newly discovered element is tennessine, TS. This general, okay, that's point we will discuss later. And its occurrence we will see. Fluorine minerals are fluoropatite, fluorospar. Important is fluorospar is CaF2, and cryolite. Na2Al F6, Na3, Na3Al F6, and another one fluoropatite. In previous class also we discussed about fluoropatite. Fluoropatite is Ca. Actually given 3 moles, Ca3 PO4 twice dot CaF2. These are the minerals of fluorine. Note down my notes, this is important. Competitive level asking these formulas. And small quantities are present in soil, river water, plants, and bones, and the teeth of animals. That is a fluorine occurrence. And if you see chlorine, chlorine is mostly means occurrence of chlorine is maximum in seawater only. Even common salts we are getting from seawater. Seawater contain 2.5% by mass. NaCl is 2.5% by mass. And this is not much important remaining. And even bromine also, bromine and iodine also occurrence is seawater only, but their percentage is very, very less. And astatine, this is a radioactive element. It is obtained with along with some radioactive elements. Okay, next it's atomic and physical properties. First one, electronic configuration. General valence shell electronic configuration of 17th group elements is NS2, NP5. Then its valence shell, 7 electrons are present. Next, atomic and ionic radii. This no doubt. From fluorine to statine, gradually atomic size increases because the number of shells are increasing. Fluorine having a very small size. We will discuss under this point anomalous properties of fluorine. Next, ionization enthalpy. So ionization enthalpy down the group decreases. Fluorine having highest, statine having the lowest ionization enthalpy. Next, electron gain enthalpy, a small exception. So general trend is electron gain enthalpy down the group decreases, But however, small exception exists between fluorine and chlorine. Even this point we discussed in 16th group elements also in between oxygen and sulfur. Generally, fluorine should have highest electron gain enthalpy than chlorine, but fluorine having the lowest. Here, chlorine having the highest electron gain enthalpy, fluorine having low. Chlorine is minus 349, fluorine having minus 329 kilojoule per mole. This is because of compact size of fluorine. The incoming electron experiences repulsions because already existed electron. That's what fluorine having somewhat lower electron gain enthalpy than chlorine. Chlorine having somewhat bigger size and chlorine also having more ability to gain electron due to empty d orbital. More space is available in chlorine atom. That's what it easily attracts the electron. This is already existed electron in very small space. This space only having 7 electrons. That's what incoming electron experiences repulsion. That's why it having lowest electron gain enthalpy. Next, electronegativity. The entire periodic table, fluorine having the highest electronegativity, 4, and down the group, electronegativity decreases. So, question: halogens have maximum negative electron gain enthalpy. See, negative electron gain enthalpy means always we are taking in negative sign only because here energy is releasing. So if they mention negative electron gain enthalpy or simply given electron gain enthalpy, that's we are writing in negative sign only. Halogens have maximum negative electron gain enthalpy in the respective period of the periodic table. Why? Of course, ionization enthalpy may be not high, but electron gain enthalpy is the highest for halogens in their respective periods. What is the reason? The reason is halogens have the smallest size in their respective period and therefore high effective nuclear charge. As a consequence, they readily accept one electron to acquire noble gas configuration. Due to small size and high nuclear charge, they having ability to electron, and also after gaining one electron, they get more stability. They gain the nearest noble gas configuration. That's what 17th group elements having the highest electron gain enthalpy in their respective periods. Okay, next, physical properties. Fluorine and chlorine, these both are gases at room temperature. Bromine is liquid, and iodine and astatine, these both are solids. Then melting and boiling point down the group increases. Now metallic character down the group increases. That's what melting and boiling points also increases down the group. So these halogens are colored substances. Fluorine is yellow color. It is yellow. Chlorine is greenish yellow. Bromine is in red color. Iodine is violet. All halogens are colored substances. Next, if you see solubility, fluorine and chlorine, these are soluble in water, but bromine and iodine are sparingly soluble in water. But these are iodine and bromine, mostly iodine. This is easily soluble in some non-polar solvents like carbon tetrachloride, CCl4, carbon disulfide, and chloroform. So in this kind of solvents, iodine is easily soluble. Even bromine also easily soluble. Fluorine and chlorine soluble in water. Okay, next one very important one, bond dissociation enthalpy. See, general trend is bond dissociation, means a bond between atoms. In fluorine molecule, FF bond. Chlorine molecule, Cl bond. Bromine, Br. Iodine, E and I. Generally, down the group, bond length is increases. We know size of iodine is very bigger than fluorine atom. Fluorine is very small atoms. Bond length is very less. In iodine, atoms are very big. Higher the bond length. So we know bond length increases, generally bond dissociation enthalpy decreases. That is general trend. Down the group, bond dissociation enthalpy decreases. But however, here exception is iodine having the lower bond dissociation enthalpy. Fluorine. So here onwards it is increases, but fluorine having the lower bond dissociation enthalpy than chlorine. Reason is fluorine having very small size, due to small size of fluorine atoms, and they're having 3 lone pair of electrons. Right, each fluorine atom having 3 lone pair of electrons. Due to repulsion between this lone pair of electrons, fluorine having the lowest bond dissociation enthalpy. Generally, fluorine only should have highest, but fluorine having the lowest. So now we can write order is chlorine having the highest, then bromine, and fluorine least is for iodine. Very important with this order. Bond dissociation enthalpy of halogen molecules. The reason is asking why fluorine having the lowest bond dissociation enthalpy. Reason is due to small size and presence of lone pair of electrons on fluorine atom. There exist repulsions. That's why it having low bond dissociation enthalpy. This is also related to this question only, very important. Although electron gain enthalpy of fluorine is less negative as compared to chlorine, fluorine is a strong oxidizing agent than chlorine. Why? So fluorine is a strong oxidizing agent. Then chlorine. What is the reason here? See, we are studying oxidizing or reducing property in terms of ability to gain electron or lose electron. So ability to lose electron, we are studying under oxidation. Ability to gain electron, we are studying under reduction. But the species which is undergoing reduction, that is acting as oxidizing agent. So here I will write equation. The fluorine. Here suppose H2S I am taking. Fluorine, it is acting as a good oxidizing reagent, so it will becomes, take F2, 2F minus, and sulfur, molecular sulfur it is forming, and H2, 2H plus. So here fluorine is acting as a good oxidizing reagent. Same, take here chlorine also, Cl2 and H2S. Here also same process happens, 2Cl minus S and 2H plus. But here fluorine having more ability to gain electron, and in this reaction fluorine is acting as a strong oxidizing reagent. See, a substance is acting as a good oxidizing reagent means here some factors are affecting. First one, bond dissociation enthalpy. We know fluorine having the low bond dissociation enthalpy means fluorine molecule easily converts to fluorine atom. This is supporting to act as a good oxidizing reagent due to low bond dissociation enthalpy of fluorine, and another one, high hydration enthalpy. Fluorine having higher hydration enthalpy than chlorine. This is also supporting. And electron gain enthalpy also one of the factor, but this one having higher electron gain enthalpy. These all three factors affect the oxidizing nature of any molecule. First, gaseous molecule converting into atomic substance. What is this process? Molecular species like F2 or Cl2 becoming 2x. We can call that is bond dissociation enthalpy. This is only no. Bond dissociation enthalpy. Molecular substance became now atomic substance. Now atomic substance is becoming electron gain enthalpy. Here it will becomes x minus. Okay, simply x minus, or okay, take half x to x and x minus. That is electron gain enthalpy. Next, x minus becoming aqueous phase. This is hydration enthalpy. These three processes involving during the reaction when it is acting as oxidizing agent. In case of fluorine, due to low bond dissociation enthalpy and high hydration enthalpy, fluorine is acting as a good oxidizing reagent than chlorine. So I think you know these two processes. Hydration enthalpy means already we discussed. Once its gaseous ion is formed in solution, some water molecules are attacking this. So results releases some amount of energy. That's only called hydration enthalpy. Hydration enthalpy always negative value, means exothermic process. This is endothermic process. This is also the exothermic process. So fluorine having these two values. So this is the supporting low bond dissociation enthalpy. Endothermic process, no, we need to invest just little amount of energy to dissociate fluorine molecule, but to dissociate chlorine need to invest more energy. And fluorine having the highest hydration enthalpy. Chlorine also have highest, but compared to fluorine having the low. Electron gain enthalpy the highest for fluorine than fluorine. But overall, you see all these three factors, fluorine only having the better number. Okay, you no need to give this much explanation. You need to say due to low bond dissociation enthalpy of fluorine and high hydration enthalpy of fluorine. Next, chemical properties and oxidation states. This first one, oxidation state. So the general oxidation state of all halogen elements is -1. All are showing -1 oxidation state. And other oxidation states, +1, +3, +5, +7, +1, not +3, -1, +3, +5, +7. The only element fluorine in the entire periodic table always maintains only one kind of oxidation state, that also -1. Fluorine always having negative, that is also -1 oxidation state. So other elements, they are showing a plus also. Whenever other elements, chlorine, bromine, iodine, these elements combine with oxygen or even combine with themselves, mean the interhalogen compound. That's an important topic, later we'll discuss. In these halogen elements, chlorine, bromine combining with fluorine, or bromine combining with chlorine, iodine combining with fluorine, chlorine, bromine, those compounds we are calling interhalogen compounds. Among themselves reacts and gives a new compounds. They are called interhalogen compounds. Suppose ClF5, BrF5. So these are interhalogen compounds. In these cases, and whenever halogens are combining with oxygen, like HClO4, showing plus oxidation, means a positive oxidation numbers also. And sometimes halogens forming are involving comproportionation reaction or another one disproportionation reaction. These are showing some different oxidation states also, like +4, +6 oxidation states also we are observing when they are involving in disproportionation reactions or comproportionation reactions. Now we'll see stability of different oxidation states. So we need to discuss about +5 state and +7 oxidation state. +5 oxidation state down the group increases, +7 oxidation state down the group stability decreases. We know that is because of which effect? +5 stability down the group increases, +7 stability down the group decreases. Which because of which effect? Already we discussed in case of 16th group, they are showing +4 and +6, +4 stability increases, +6 stability decreases. 15th group, these are showing +3 and +5, +3 state stability increases, +5 state stability decreases. What is the reason? Banu? Because of inert pair effect. So while writing their general valence electronic configuration, we are giving NS2. Okay, this is NP3, this is NP4, this is writing NP5. But these two electrons are not involving in chemical bond. That's what we call inert pair effect. Now see which conditions these halogen elements except fluorine remaining elements are showing +3, +5, +7 oxidation state. See along with their electronic configuration. So NS2 NP5 is the electronic configuration. So in their normal ground state electronic configuration, these are showing -1 oxidation state. So element gaining 1 electron and gets nearest noble gas configuration. And same NS2 NP four and N-1D. Okay, simple ND. NS2 1, 2, 3, 4, and this 1 electron is jumping into d orbital. So now unpaired electrons are 3 are there. Here is the 1, 2, 3. So in this case, it is able to show +3 oxidation state. And NS2, NP3, and ND2 in this state means this is excited state 1, excited state 2. Unpaired electrons are 5 are there. So in this case, it is able to show +5 oxidation state. In next excited state is NS1, NS1, NP3, and ND3. Now all the orbitals having 1 electron each. Now here 7 unpaired electrons are there. It is element are able to show +7 oxidation state. Okay. That's all. Next, all these halogen elements are acting as a good oxidizing reagent. but this oxidizing abilities down the group decreases. Previously, we discussed that point. Fluorine having the highest oxidizing nature, then chlorine, bromine, least is iodine. See some chemical reactions. Fluorine is a very strong oxidizing reagent. It have ability to oxidize halogen elements also in aqueous solution. See, suppose fluorine taking plus halogen, any other halogens, chlorine, bromine, iodine, it becomes, sorry, take 2x minus. This both electron, each halogen is carrying one electron, no? So two halogens together carries 2 electrons. The 2 electrons are absorbed by fluorine. It will become 2f minus, and it is forming molecular halogen. So here fluorine is able to oxidize. X is chlorine, bromine, or iodine. Next, right here, chlorine. Chlorine can oxidize Cl2. It forms 2Cl minus and X2. What is X? X here?
Bromine and iodine.
Very good. Bromine and iodine. Now, bromine plus 2x minus gives rise 2Br minus and X2. What is X here? What is X?
Iodine.
Iodine. Good. So from this observation, it is clear that down the group, oxidizing character is decreases. Fluorine having the highest, iodine having the least. So this is a further confirmed by taking water also. See, fluorine already said, fluorine having the highest oxidizing power or oxidizing nature because it having the highest SRP values, standard reduction potential values. If you see in electrochemistry, there we are giving the fluorine value top, having the highest value. It is we are showing with plus sign, bigger value. So it can oxidize even water also. Fluorine, if it take in water, it can oxidize water and oxygen gas is released. But if you take bromine and chlorine, they are just dissolved in water and forming their respective acids. See the chemical reactions with water. Fluorine plus 2H2. So fluorine acting as a good oxidizing reagent, so it gains the 2 electrons. It becomes 2F minus. Take, yeah, 2F2. Okay, 2H2O. It gains 4F minus. And 4 hydrogens, 4H plus, and oxygen gas is released. So when fluorine gas is passed into water, fluorine oxidizes water and oxygen gas is released. So it refers fluorine is a very strong oxidizing reagent. Suppose if we take chlorine in water, so instead of releasing oxygen gas, it is forming its respective acids, HX and HYX, means here we may write HCl and HOCl. Next, if you take bromine or any, this is applying for same, both have chlorine and bromine. Same bromine also same reaction. Bromine plus H2O, it is giving a HBr and HOBr. Hydrogen halide and hydrogen hypohalides are formed. Suppose if you take iodine, so reverse reaction happens. See, fluorine is the good oxidizing first number, then chlorine. After that, bromine. And then going for oxygen, least is iodine. But oxygen is not belongs to 617 group, but having highest oxidizing nature than iodine. That's what a reverse reaction happens. So this reaction reverse, that means 4I minus, 4H plus, and O2, it results 2I2 and 2H2. Yeah. If you observe, iodine is undergoing oxidation. This is undergoing reduction. In the first reaction, fluorine is acting as oxidizing reagent here. Okay, chlorine and bromine just dissolving. However, they are also acting as oxidizing reagent. But in the fourth reaction, oxygen is acting as oxidizing reagent. Iodine is undergoing, halogen is undergoing oxidation. So this is acting as reducing agent now. So it means down the group, oxidizing character decreases. So next, anomalous behavior of fluorine.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
sir, down the group oxidation character increases or decreases, sir?
Decreases, decreases.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So this fluorine is showing anomalous properties, and reasons are due to small size, high electronegativity, and unavailability of d orbitals. Higher ionization enthalpy, and some other anomalous properties. Reasons are lower bond dissociation enthalpy, means compared to chlorine only, chlorine and bromine. And lower electron gain enthalpy. We will see now what are the anomalous properties. Except fluorine, all other elements are able to show higher oxidation states. But fluorine is able to show only one kind of oxidation state, that is only -1. But other elements are showing -1, +3, +5, +7 also. But fluorine can't. Next one, all other elements able to expand their covalency more than 4. So elements, suppose if you see chlorine, in this compound, see how many bonds it is forming. It is able to form 7 bonds. Covalency is more than 4. But fluorine can't, but having ability to 4, but that 4 also it won't show. Practically, we are observing only fluorine forming a single bond. So other elements are able to show more than 4. And next, another anomalous property, fluorine is acting as a good oxidizing reagent. If we take fluorine gas into water, only the fluorine element can oxidize water into oxygen gas. But remaining elements just dissolve in water and forming their respective acids and hypohalous acids. This is only anomalous properties. And one more property. When these elements, halogen elements, reacting with hydrogen, they can form hydrogen halides, right? HF, HCl, HBr, and HI. Only HF is existing as a liquid. Reason? All these elements are not exist as liquids. HF only exists as a liquid. Anybody can tell reason? Tejashwini?
So can you tell again, sir?
When halogen elements combines with hydrogen, they are forming hydrogen halides, HF, HCl, HBr, HI. Only the HF is liquid substance, so remaining are not liquid substances, gases. Why?
I don't remember, sir.
Very simple. Same reason we studied in 16th group also. When 16th group element oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium combine with hydrogen, these are forming H2O, H2S, H2SE, H2TE. But only H2O is liquid, H2S is gas. Why?
Hydrogen bond.
Hydrogen bonding, due to intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Even HF also intermolecular hydrogen bond is exist. Reason is due to small size and high electronegativity of fluorine, it can form hydrogen bond. Here also same reason we are saying. In 16th group elements, oxygen is able to form H2O is existing as a liquid, but not H2S. Reason is intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Further reason you can say due to small size, high electronegativity of oxygen. These are only anomalous properties of fluorine. Next. The activity of halogens towards hydrogen. See, all halogen elements easily reacts with hydrogen and they form hydrogen halides. HF, HCl, HBr, and HI. We know this is existing as a liquid due to intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Okay, now we need to discuss here bond dissociation enthalpy and acidic strength. See, in HF bond is very small bond, and also here involving in hydrogen bonding. That's what here bond dissociation enthalpy is a very high in HF, not in F2. In F2, bond dissociation enthalpy is very low. Reason is the repulsions between the fluorine atoms. Between repulsions, easily we can break this bond. But here we are talking about hydrogen fluoride, different molecule. This is involving in hydrogen intermolecular hydrogen bond. That's what very strong interaction is present between hydrogen and fluorine, having very high bond dissociation enthalpy. So this is the order HF, HCl, HBr, HI. So HI bond we can break very easily, that have low bond dissociation enthalpy, and also thermal stability also same order. Thermal stability also we are maintaining same order. Now acidic strength. Acidic strength, which one having a higher acidic strength means you can say HI having better acid than HF, HCl, and HBr. Reason is here we can break very easily bond. This molecule can provide H plus ion easily. So acidic strength is increasing.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
sir, the acidic strength again can explain, sir, I didn't hear
Okay.
properly.
See, a substance to become a better acid means that should donate H plus ion very easily. That's we can say stronger acid. Just if we compare with a weak acid, acetic acid, and stronger acid, suppose HCl. This is cannot easily provide easily H plus ion. This can provide. That's what it is stronger acid, it is weaker acid. Now we are comparing this acid HF, HCl, HBr, and HI. Now HI molecule easily can provide H plus ion because of low bond dissociation enthalpy. HI having the low bond dissociation enthalpy means HI bond we can break very easily. That's why this molecule can give H plus ion better than remaining acids. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is about reaction towards hydrogen. Next, reactivity towards oxygen. Fluorine reacts with oxygen and can form two oxides. One is F2, sorry, OF2 and O2F2. These two only oxides. Here, this is somewhat stable. This is highly unstable. And acting as a good oxidizing reagent also this one. This is better, somewhat stable. Next, chlorine, bromine, and iodine, they are forming a number of oxides and also stable. See here first about O2, F2. Both are stronger fluorinating, not oxidizing, fluorinating agent. F2 and O2, F2 both are fluorinating agent. Fluorinating agent means that is acting as good oxidizing reagent only. O2F2 oxidizes plutonium to plutonium hexafluoride. Element plutonium, radioactive element, can convert to plutonium hexafluoride. This process is used in the separation of plutonium from spent nuclear. In the nuclear reaction or nuclear reactors, some wastage is happening. No, from that wastage to collect plutonium, that O2F2 is passing, and O2F2 easily reacting with the plutonium and forming plutonium hexafluoride. Then further it is, we can separate easily. Next, chlorine, bromine, and iodine form oxides, in which there we are observing a different type of oxidation state, like +1 to +7 we are observing in case of halogens. And if we observe the stability of oxides, oxides of iodine are more stable than bromine, than iodine, sorry, chlorine. Least is fluorine only. When halogens combine with oxygen, this is thermostability. Oxides of iodine are more stable than bromine, then chlorine. Least is fluorine. So we'll see oxides of chlorine, Cl2O, ClO2, Cl2O6, Cl2O7. This many oxides are formed by chlorine. So are highly reactive oxidizing agent and tend to explode. ClO2 used as a bleaching agent for paper pulp and textile and in water treatment. This is acting as oxidizing reagent in paper pulp and textile and in the water treatment process. Next, bromine. Bromine also able to form oxides. It is BRO, BR2O, BRO2 and BRO3. See what are the oxidation state of bromine in its oxides. So Br2O oxidation state is +1, okay. In BrO2 +4, BrO3 maintaining +6. Are the least stable halogen oxides. This is only called a middle row anomaly. So sometimes in competitive level asking middle row anomaly, that is oxides of bromine only we are calling BrO2, Br2O2, BrO2 and Br2O3, and exist only at low temperature. These are very powerful oxidizing reagents. Next, oxides of iodine. Oxides of iodine, I2O4, I2O5 and I2O7. These are the oxides of iodine, are insoluble solids and decomposes on heating. I2O5 is a very good oxidizing agent and is used in the estimation of carbon monoxide. So no doubt, iodine compounds are not much soluble in water. Even chlorine, bromine is somewhat better. Iodine compounds, because iodine compounds are mostly covalent in nature. Iodine compounds, and chlorine and bromine somewhat not ionic, but easily ionizable in water. But iodine compound not. And I2O5 is acting as a good oxidizing reagent. It is used in the estimation of carbon monoxide. That's all that is about oxides of halogens. See once again, fluorine is able to form only two oxides. One is OF2 and O2F2. Both are acting as a good fluorinating agent. This O2F2 is used in the extraction of plutonium from spent nuclear. When plutonium in the spent easily reacting with fluorine and forming plutonium hexafluoride, we can separate it. Next, if you see thermal stability of oxides, oxides of iodine is better, means more stable. Here chlorine is forming Cl2O, ClO2, Cl2O6, Cl2O7. Bromine, Br2O, Br2 and BrO3. This is only we are calling middle row anomaly. And iodine also forming these oxides. But however, all the oxides are better oxidizing reagent. Especially we are focusing on this oxide, ClO2, and here B2O, I2O5. ClO2 is used in textile and paper industries to oxidize the substances, I mean the paper pulp. I2O5 is used in the estimation of carbon monoxide. So estimation means in the given sample how much amount of carbon monoxide is there. That is can calculate with the help of I2O5. Okay, so this is about reactivity towards oxygen. Next is reactivity towards metals. No doubt all halogens are easily reacting with metals and forming metal halides. Suppose magnesium reacting with bromine, it is forming magnesium bromide. Even chlorine, fluorine, all halogens easily reacting with metal forms metal halides. So here metal fluorides are ionic in nature. So ionic character, if you write the order, metallic fluorides are more ionic, and metallic chloride, metallic bromides, metallic iodides. This is ionic character. This is important point. Suppose metal is able to show more than one oxidation state, that is forming more than one kind of metal halides. For example, like tin, lead, iron, and stibbium, uranium. See, tin is forming, suppose a halides. We can take any halogen, SnCl2, and able to form SnCl4 also. Lead is able to form PbCl2, PbCl4. Iron, FeCl2, FeCl3. Tin, SbBr2, or chlorine also we can take SbBr, Br, stibbium, no, SbCl3. Okay, 5. So Br3, Br5, and uranium UF4 and UF6. So when metal is able to show more than one kind of oxidation state, it is able to give more than one kind of halogen compounds. So in this, whenever element is showing higher oxidation state, here it is in +4, +4, +3, +5, +6. Here when compare here +2, +2, +2, +3, +4. Whenever metal it is in higher oxidation state, that is more covalent. And you can say it is less ionic. When metal it is in their lower oxidation state, it is more ionic or less covalent. Also, if you compare UF4 and UF6, which is more covalent, means you have to say UF6 because of higher oxidation state. This is more ionic. Next, reactivity of halogen towards other halogens. Yeah, these only interhalogen compounds. Halogens combine amongst themselves to form a number of compounds known as interhalogen, or interhalogens of the type. See, one halogen reacting with other halogens, giving interhalogen compounds. Yeah, X dash. So interhalogen compounds we are denoting with X dash. Here X is always big size element. X dash is small size. For example, we can write ClF3. Fluorine is bigger size, fluorine is smaller size. BrF3, BrF5, BrCl3. And if we take iodine, IF3 not exist, IF5, IF7, and ICl3, ICl5, ICl7 we don't observe, IBr3, IBF5, BRF. These are interhalogen compounds. So in this case, we are observing mostly +3, +5, +7 oxidation states. And even in their oxo acids also, when bromine and chlorine are forming their oxo acids, even iodine also, we can see higher oxidation state like +5, +6, +7 also. A separate topic is there. We'll discuss later about interhalogen compounds. Yeah, answer this question. Fluorine exhibit only -1 oxidation state, whereas other halogens exhibit +1, +3, +5, +7 oxidation state also. Explain. So explain means you don't need to give big answer, just in 2-3 lines only. So what is answer? Fluorine is
Due to
able to...
absence of B orbital.
Okay, good. And exhibit only -1 oxidation state. Fluorine is exhibit only -1 oxidation state. To that also you need to say reason. Okay, see. The entire periodic table, only the element fluorine can show -1 oxidation state. Reason is fluorine is the highest electronegative element, no? The entire periodic table, fluorine having the highest electronegativity. This is only the reason fluorine always show negative oxidation state, that also -1. And another reason why other elements are showing +1, +3, +5, +7. Why can't fluorine? Means it won't have d orbitals. That's why it cannot expand valency and are unable to show this kind of oxidation state.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
can we say it has a more electron gain enthalpy? That's why.
Which one? -1 oxidation state?
Yes, sir.
No, electron gain enthalpy is the highest for chlorine. No, electron gain enthalpy is the highest for chlorine, not fluorine. Only electronegativity highest for fluorine. Okay, then next question. Carefully listen this. Consider the parameters such as bond dissociation enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy and hydration enthalpy. Compare the oxidizing power of fluorine and chlorine. I think this was I explained. So here we have chlorine and fluorine. The properties are bond dissociation enthalpy. Energy. Electron gain enthalpy. Hydration enthalpy. Tell me. And finally, oxidizing power. Which one having higher bond dissociation enthalpy or lower bond dissociation enthalpy? Which one?
Bond dissociation enthalpy is higher for F2.
Higher for?
F2.
No. Bond dissociation enthalpy.
So bond dissociation enthalpy is higher for chlorine.
Yeah. This is having highest. This is having low. Reason is due to repulsions of lone pair of electrons on fluorine atom. First reason is due to small size of fluorine atom, low bond length, and due to the presence of lone pair of electrons exist repulsions. So very easy to break this bond in fluorine compared to chlorine. So low bond dissociation enthalpy. Next, electron gain enthalpy, which having highest?
So chlorine.
Yeah, this is also highest is for chlorine. It's having low. Hydration enthalpy?
So fluorine has highest.
Yeah, fluorine having highest. See, when any species to show better oxidizing power, bond dissociation enthalpy should be low. This for oxidizing power supporting factors only I'm writing. One is bond dissociation enthalpy should be low, and electron gain enthalpy should be high. Hydration enthalpy also should be high. If any species having these three higher, that is no doubt acting as a better oxidizing reagent than other species. Okay, but here any species not having all three highest values means this should be low, this both should be high. No, that's not possible. But however, if we consider all these three factors, fluorine only acting as a good oxidizing reagent than chlorine. So if you write that point enough, bond dissociation enthalpy is the highest for chlorine, lowest for fluorine. Electron gain enthalpy high for chlorine, lower for fluorine. Don't write like this, write in line wise in examination. Hydration enthalpy is chlorine having lower than or fluorine having highest. So overall, better by considering all these factors, oxidizing power is highest for fluorine. Next question, give two examples to show the anomalous behavior of fluorine. Can you tell any two anomalous behavior of fluorine?
So HF is liquid.
HF is very good. HF is liquid. Other hydrogen halides are not liquids because of HF forming intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Okay, another, that is one factor. Next factor. Next, anomalous behavior. So you can say fluorine is a good oxidizing reagent. Of course, other halogens also, but compared to other halogens, fluorine is the best oxidizing reagent. It having ability to oxidize water into oxygen, means it having ability to oxidize water, that's all. Oxygen gas is released, but when other elements like chlorine, bromine reacts, it is just forming its acids. Okay, next question is C is the biggest source of some halogens. Comment. Just you need to write how seawater is biggest source to obtain halogens like chlorine, bromine, iodine only mostly obtained from seawater, and what is the percentage of sodium chloride in water and how to get sodium chloride. Sodium chloride means from that only we are getting chlorine now. And bromine and iodine also we can get from seawater only, but percentage is very less. Okay, next. How to synthesize chlorine. First, we will see laboratory preparation of chlorine. Just by heating manganese dioxide with hydrogen chloride, it results chlorine gas. Take 2 moles, 4 moles will take. Forms MnCl2 and 4 chlorines, 2 chlorines over, then 1 molecule of chlorine and 2 H2O. Heating manganese dioxide with concentrated hydrochloric acid gives chlorine gas. And then another method, same MnO2 only we are taking and reacting with NaCl and H2SO4. It gives MnCl2, chlorine gas produces, and sodium bisulfate also it gives, along with some water molecules. Balance the equation 4 NaCl. Four, also 4. 2H2. Same when we use NaCl and H2SO4, this together produces hydrogen chloride only. That hydrogen chloride further reacting with MnO2 giving chlorine gas. Next, another method, potassium permanganate. By the action of potassium permanganate with hydrochloric acid, KMnO4 reacting with HCl. So HCl is 16 molecules, 2 molecules of potassium permanganate. It gives 2 KCl, MnCl2, so 8H2O. Then remaining chlorine is 2, 6 chlorines are over, then 5 chlorines, 10 chlorines, so 5Cl2. So this is the laboratory synthesis. First one, heating of manganese dioxide along with concentrated HCl. And another way, instead of HCl, we can use sodium chloride, and with the concentrated H2SO4, it results chlorine gas. And heating of potassium permanganate with concentrated HCl. Dilute only, not. Yeah, dilute only enough. KMnO4 treated with dilute HCl to gives chlorine gas. Next, manufacture of chlorine means in bulk synthesis, in industrial process is Decon's process. So chlorine is synthesized by Decon's process. So in this process, here we are doing oxidation of hydrogen chloride in the presence of cupric chloride catalyst at 723 Kelvin. So HCl is oxidized in presence of cupric chloride at 723. Yeah, 723 Kelvin. Just oxidation of hydrogen chloride results chlorine gas. Again, 4 molecules of HCl gives 2 H2O, 2 Cl2. Next, another method, electrolysis process. This is a known method. So brine solution means NaCl, so concentrated NaCl solution we are calling brine solution. When NaCl is electrolyzed, anode, cathode. At anode, chlorine gas is evolved. And at cathode, sodium metal is deposited. These two methods are using in the bulk synthesis of chlorine gas. Okay, next, see its physical properties. You know, already it is in greenish yellow gas with a pungent smell and suffocating gas. So like nitrogen gas, it is also suffocating gas, but not pungent nitrogen, but this is a pungent gas. It is about 2 to 5 times heavier than normal air. It can be liquefied easily into greenish yellow liquid, which boils at 239 Kelvin. It is soluble in water. Yeah, bromine also, of course, bromine is a liquid substance, but it is better, somewhat soluble in water, but chlorine is easily soluble in water. Next, reactions of chlorine. Chlorine easily reacting with metals and non-metals, and it forms its respective chlorides. Example, reaction of aluminium with chlorine. It forms AlCl3. And reaction with sodium, we know this. Na plus Cl2 giving 2 NaCl. Iron, Fe plus Cl2 gives FeCl2. With non-metal, these are metals, and magnesium also reacts. Many metals react with chlorine, forms its salt. And with non-metals, phosphorus reacting with chlorine, and it forms PCl3. And sulfur reacting with chlorine, it forms S2Cl2, sulfuryl chloride. Here 4. Next, it has great affinity for hydrogen. It reacts with compounds containing hydrogen to form HCl. Yes. So chlorine having great affinity to combine with hydrogen, and it gives hydrogen chloride. Well, H2 reaction with chlorine gives HCl. Reaction with H2S and chlorine. Here also it forms 2HCl and sulfur, solid sulfur. Hydrocarbon C10H16. Hydrocarbons also reacting with chlorine. It is forming 10 carbons and hydrogen chloride. Okay, next reactions are very important. Reaction of chlorine with ammonia. One is excess ammonia we are taking. In another reaction we are taking excess chlorine. Ammonia with chlorine. No doubt it is forming ammonium chloride and releasing nitrogen gas. When if we take excess of ammonia giving NH4Cl and N2 gas. So we'll take ammonia is in 8 moles, 3 moles of chlorine. Then it gives 6 moles NH4Cl to nitrogen. This is the reaction. Now another reaction of ammonia with chlorine Now excess is chlorine. Products is NCl3. This is explosive material, NCl3. Explosive substance, and HCl. So very important, this reaction. So we have this kind of reaction. 3 reactions are there. One reaction with sodium hydroxide, and further, only that one reaction. Now see reaction with sodium hydroxide, cold and warm. First chlorine reacting with NaOH. This is cold and dilute. So with cold and dilute, it is giving normally NaCl it gives, and NaOCl H2O. Now, while giving this kind of reaction, previously also I told some reactions. Sulfur dioxide reaction with the sodium hydroxide. So the specific reaction you need to balance, must have to balance the inorganic chemical reactions in examination. 2 moles of NaOH gives NaCl and NaOCl plus H2. Yeah, it is balanced. Next, another reaction, chlorine with NaOH, but now hot and concentrated. Now also it gives NaCl, it gives. Next, NaClO3 and H2. Only difference is one product. Here NaClO or NaOCl, here NaClO3. Balance the reaction. 3 moles of chlorine, 6 moles of ammonia. Yeah. Take 3 moles. No, only 1 mole. 5 moles NaCl. 5 moles of NaCl, 1 mole NaClO3 and H2O. 6 hydrogen, 3 H2. This is also very important. It's mostly asking for 2 marks questions. Just 2 reactions if you write enough. Okay, and then remaining concept we will see into next class. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.